I know you're probably shocked by the title of this YouTube video. Yes, it's a drugstore makeup routine. I did not use any high-end products, and honestly, you can't even tell. You cannot tell me that I did not use the finest of finest makeup on my face. All I'm gonna say to you is, after this video, stop sleeping on drugstore makeup products, okay? If you wanna learn how to get this look, stay tuned, because I'm about to teach you how to get this look for the lowest price you can in the drugstore, baby. You ain't gotta go to Sephora to get this. Right up in the Walgreens, right up in CVS, right up in Ulta. Like, you ain't never had to go too far to get a full glam. Come on now. Yeah. So stay tuned and get into this look because you want to see this. So first I had to take my glasses off from Zulu, okay? Go watch my review video and make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to do that. So first I started off with the Makeup Revolution Pout Bomb Maxi Plump Lip Gloss. This is an optional step. It was about $12, but I think this is a good step to do so that at the end when you do your lip routine that your lips are plump, like you have a lip filler. Then I use the e.l.f. Cosmetics Power Grip Primer with 4% niacinamide. That goes for about $10. And I use this with everything, even if it's just like my high-end makeup. This is my favorite primer, like, ever. So you're just going to see me rubbing this around my face. I have no rhyme or reason for how I put it on my face. So, like, I sped it up here because, yeah. Just so y'all can see, like, how I'm putting it on my face. But, like, there's no rhyme or reason. Just put the stuff on your face. Yes, girl, pat, pat, pat. So I'm just like rubbing and patting it in. And like I was patting it to show y'all the stickiness, because the stickiness is what makes your makeup last. Your makeup sticks to the primer. Next, I use the e.l.f. Cosmetics Halo Glow Liquid Filter in the shade Tan Deep. This goes for about $14. And a lot of people ask me, is this a foundation? Technically, no. It's a complexion booster. It's supposed to make it look like you have a filter on your skin. You're supposed to use it under foundation, but sometimes I use it for like my everyday, like I'm just, you know, going out, just not trying to do too much type of look, and it just gives me like a sheer glow. Then I use my Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is a good setting spray all around. I use it in between steps usually when I'm doing my routine, because I have a bunch of other setting sprays because I'm just extra like that. But I think this is a good setting spray just if you're looking for something that's easy to use, drugstore, very cheap. This goes for about $10 and you could pretty much find it anywhere. I also use my Instapot Real Techniques brush just to give me full coverage. Then I went in with my beauty blender just to go ahead and like shear that out and make it look more skin-like. Then I go in with my Milani Concealer Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. So I use this as a foundation. I also like the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, but I really like, I don't know, I think I like this one better. I'm not going to lie. This goes for about $11. I have the shade Chestnut. This shade is honestly more so my summer tone, but I really do like using a darker foundation because I feel like once I highlight, it just, I don't know. I feel like once I highlight, it makes my highlight look less bright, if that makes sense. Like, it makes sure that you don't end up looking like your neck doesn't match your face. So I like using a darker foundation. That's just me though. And I did like the same technique I did with the Liquid Glow filter. I just went in with my Instapot brush, then I went in with my beauty blender, making it look like skin. You see how it looks glowy because I used that Halo Glow filter underneath? Like, filter. You see that? Yeah, get into it. Now I use my e.l.f. Cosmetics 16-hour Camo Concealer. This is the GOAT right here, okay? Before I started using Tarte and all of that, this was my girl. I used to use this on clients and everything. It's very full coverage. It lasts all day. Barely any creasing. And it's so easy to blend. I use the shade Deep Olive, but I believe they don't sell this in the store anymore. I'm not sure. I find it sometimes I don't. So if you can't find it, I would choose Deep Caramel as like a substitution for that. This concealer goes for about $7. You can find this Walmart, Target, Ulta, Walgreens, everywhere. e.l.f. is everywhere, okay? You can get your hands on this if you need to get your hands on this. I also want you to pay attention to the places that I put all my concealer at: under my eyes, on my forehead, on my nose, on my cupid's bow, on my chin. And I was showing you guys the second shade I used. So I used like a lighter shade. That was actually Tan Sand. But that's another one that I sometimes don't see in the store. I have a lot of concealers from when I used to do makeup, so I mix concealers until I get my perfect shade. If you can't find Tan Sand, I would try medium warm as a substitution. And then I'm about to get to blending, okay? Now, I would have sped this up, but I feel like a lot of people get lost with this step about how to blend your under eye. Oop, it was a hair. Got it? Did I get it? Okay, I think I got it. So, a lot of people didn't get it. Okay. Yeah, got it. So a lot of people get lost in this step. So notice how I try to focus on the inner corner first, and then I move to the outside. That's how I like to blend, because I feel like I like my inner corner to be very full coverage, and then on the outsides I kind of tap it lightly so that it blends in with the foundation. So that's kind of how I start. I start off like in the inner corners, and then I blend out. And you kind of see I'm doing a pattern. It's like a patting motion, but I'm also swiping at the same time. Like, a lot of people get lost in this. I really don't know how, and I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. But this technique is basically me starting in the inner corner and then just going out, like fanning it out, if that makes sense. I'm fanning it out. So yeah, if you have trouble with this, just watch closely what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to explain. You just kind of got to watch. And I promise one day I'm going to do a video just detailing which brushes I use for which steps, because a lot of people ask me for each brush name, and a lot of these brushes I've had for years, so it's going to take me a while to like even look up the name and see where I got them from. But one day I'm going to do a detailed video. This is a Real Techniques concealer brush. You can find this everywhere: Target, Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, Amazon, anywhere. Okay, these brushes are really elite. Like, you probably see everybody using these under their eyes to blend out their concealer. These are the best brushes to blend out concealer, in my opinion. And I too also want everybody to realize that blending is a process. This is not supposed to be anything that you do fast. If you try to blend out your makeup too fast, 9 times out of 10 it will not be blended out correctly, and we're going to see the lines, and we're going to be able to tell that you didn't blend. So take your time. This is literally not a race, it's a marathon. So if you know me, you know I love a bright under eye. Now we're going to go in with Fair Warm. This is what I use to brighten my under eyes, and I like to mix it with the first concealer that I used, which is Deep Olive. Like, I like to mix it with the one that's like not as light. So you mix it, and this time I had to mix it with all three because I used 3 concealers, but usually I would mix it with whatever one that I used and then just make that my bright under eye. But that's how I get my bright under eye. So I use like the same technique I use when I do my normal routine. So now I'm going to let that marinate, and we're going to use the Black Opal Skin Perfecting Stick Foundation. You can get these from Walmart. I don't think they sell them in store at Ulta, but they sell them online at Ulta, and they sell them on Amazon. You can find these at a lot of places. The first shade that I'm going in with for my cream bronzer is going to be, and you can see I'm making that face because I was like, this might be a little dark, because I was kind of testing out which one I want to use, because I found some old ones from where I used to do makeup. But I believe that this shade was Black Walnut. And you can see I kind of used too much, okay? I got heavy-handed. You really need to put the contour like at the top of where your ear starts and kind of stop it like at the corner of your eye almost. I put it too far down, so you're gonna see me doing a lot of blending right now because I shouldn't have did that. I don't know why I was so heavy-handed. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing and I just get really heavy-handed. So you're gonna see me go through the process of trying to fix my mistake, which, listen, as a former MUA and somebody that does my makeup all the time, y'all always be like, oh my gosh, your face is beat. I still make mistakes. Like, players mess up too, okay? I am not perfect, and you will never be perfect at doing your makeup unless you literally do your makeup every day. And I don't do my makeup every day, like, contrary to popular belief. So you're going to see me go through the steps of trying to fix this. After I let that concealer sit for a little bit, I started to blend it out because I was like, maybe if I blend out the concealer, I could get rid of all the darkness that I just added to my face. So you're just going to see me like starting to blend this out again, just to make everything look cohesive once again, because I really messed up when I put all that bronzer there. I don't know what I was thinking about. I got too confident. So you can see me like mixing the deep olive now, because I was like, maybe this is a little too bright. This is not as bright as I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like a neutral bright. So I mixed the deep olive in, and then I started blending it out with the beauty blender. Listen, at this point, I was just trying to fake it till I make it, because things were going left. And you have to remember, like, a lot of these products, yes, I used them before, but like this particular routine I've never done before. So I was kind of like doing things out of order. I don't know. Every time I use new products, I get lost in the sauce. Or every time like I do like a routine that's not my normal routine, I get very lost in the sauce. But as you can see, it came together. Like, it's coming together. So I'm blending for my life. And that's really what y'all about to watch me do, is blend for my life. And also, while I'm doing this, I want you to notice that when I was blending out that bronzer, I was not using that same bronzer brush. I used the foundation brush that had the foundation on it to make that color neutralize and not be so dark. So that's how I was able to get that color from being so dark to looking more like my bronzer shade, because I ended up using my foundation brush instead of the brush I used to apply the contour. And also realize that I did not add any extra product at any time besides when I mixed the deep olive with the brighter shade, because at this point I am blending. You don't want to be adding extra product when you're blending. You're just trying to make what's already there look more cohesive. And then I put those little lines underneath my cheekbone because I wanted it to be more prominent. I felt like it wasn't prominent enough. And then you see me blending it out with the foundation brush, just using that excess product to make it look more cohesive once again. Not adding any product, just using what I already have. So now I'm using the black opal stick once again. And this is what I use for my nose contour. I'm using the shade Au Chocolat. This is the shade I use all the time. This is the same routine I do all the time when I do my nose contour. This does not change even though I'm using drugstore. I use this same drugstore product even when I do my regular face, just because I think this is the perfect shade for my nose contour. And notice that I use a lighter shaded brown for my nose and not the dark color that I use for my cheek. And I feel like even when you want to get a darker bronzer on your cheek, you still should use a lighter bronzer on your nose. You should be using two different bronzers in my opinion, because your nose should not be as dark as your cheeks. That's just my opinion. And you can see I just take it down. I get like a little skinny flat brush and I just take that product down from my eyebrows to the bottom of my nose and try to make my nose look as skinny as possible. And this takes me a while. I wanted to put this in real time and not really speed it up, because I want you to see how long this process takes, because you kind of have to like really take your time and see what looks best on your nose. I like my nose to look thin, so I make sure that line in the middle is really thin, and then I kind of end it before I get to the bottom. Like, I don't want the line to go all the way to the bottom because I want to have a button nose effect. So I kind of end it like before you get to the tip of the nose. So that's what you see me doing here. Also, I think I forgot to say this retails for about $13. And I would say the best place to get them is Walmart, because Walmart usually has all the shades that you need. So if you're looking for the black opal sticks, I would just go to Walmart. And now you kind of see me taking that concealer brush and bringing in my under eye some more to make the nose even look more thinner than it already looks, because when you bring that highlight in, it brings the nose in as well. And then I'm going to go back with that small flat brush to just define the contour in my nose. And I just want to say, ignore this wig, because this is a wig that I bought from Amazon and the knots were just not bleaching when I put this wig on. I had a lot of trouble, so just don't pay attention. Now you see me adding more concealer because I think I plan to, what was I trying to do here? Maybe? Why did I do that? Maybe I was doing it because I was trying to make like my under eye come in some more and be more full coverage. And also I'm extra. Some things I do just don't make sense, okay? I wish I had a real reason to tell y'all, but I'm just an honest person. I don't know why I did that, but hey, it looked good, right? And I also like to redefine that tip of my nose. That's probably why I did it, so I could get some concealer on the brush to redefine the tip of my nose and that line of my nose. That's what I think my reasoning was behind that. So from this point forward, I was kind of plugging and chugging, just trying to figure out what looks the best when I'm blending. So I was going back and forth from the concealer brush to the nose contour brush just to make sure that everything looked cohesive in the middle of my face, because that is a focal point of your face, and you don't want anybody to be able to see like where your highlight began, where your contour ended. You don't want anybody to be able to say like, oh, that's not blended well, that looks so separated. Because a lot of people say like when they do a bright under eye, everything looks so separated. It's because you don't blend long enough and you're not taking your time to blend. That's why everything looks separated. If you blend everything out and make those colors mesh together, you don't have to worry about it looking separated. So that's what I'm doing here. Just blending until everything looks to my liking. And not only do I use brushes, I like to use that Beauty Blender in between, because Beauty Blender takes away excess product that you might have. So that makes everything look more skin-like. So I go back and forth from brushes to Beauty Blenders just to make sure everything is blended well. Like I said, I blend till I can't blend no more. But notice that I'm blending enough so that you can still see the work that I did, but it also looks cohesive. Don't over blend to the point where like you can't even see that you even contour your nose. So next up, we had the Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush. I'm going to be very honest with you. I did not really like this product. It wasn't enough for me. I felt like I couldn't see it. I don't think it's made for darker skin tones, in my opinion. I mixed two shades together, which were Pink Flirt and Cheeky Coral. Those were about $10 each. So $20 for a blush that didn't really even show up. You can see me kind of looking here like, girl, can you see that? No, not really. Even though like I was dancing, because at first I was like, oh, this kind of cute. It's giving me a glowy look. But like, if you know me, I like blush, and that just was not enough. So then I tried to apply more of the coral color, because I was like, maybe the coral is going to show up more, because, you know, brown skin tones and coral kind of go together. Y'all, that did not work, and I think it ended up looking oily, and like I think the product just was not meshing well with the other products on my face. So it got crazy. I kept trying to blend it out, but like that just was not it. So then I went in with another product. I got the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blush. This was in the shade Coral Crush, and this was around $10 as well. And I would recommend buying the cream blush instead of the liquid blush, because I feel like this just showed up better on my face. Like, do you see the difference already? I was like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. And this shade is kind of like an orangey, pinky shade, which I think is perfect for brown skin tones. I think it's so pretty, and it makes you look sun-kissed. And like I was going back and forth from putting it on with the brush and blending it out with the Beauty Blender. After I put that other product on, it was kind of hard to blend out the cream, because I think the cream would have blended out perfect. But that other product, I don't know what they made that liquid blush with, but like it just was not blending out well. So I think I'm going to even end up putting on more concealer just to like get the concealer back on my face, because like the blush was trying to take over. So here's where you're going to see me like mixing all my concealers together again. Like I said, I mixed concealers to get my perfect shade. And then I'm going to blend it out some more, because this just was not it. But the cream blush, I should have used that by itself. I didn't even need the other blushes. So I would say get the cream blush. Like I said, it's about $10. Don't even waste your time with the liquid blushes, for real. And I also want this video to be a lesson to people that might just be starting doing your makeup. Like I said, I'm still making mistakes, and I've done people's makeup, and I do my own makeup. Placement is very important when it comes to makeup. I'm new to liquid blush, so I'm still working on placement of liquid blush, but I suggest not putting it that far down on your cheeks, for real. Like, you really should be putting it at the high points of your cheeks and then trying to blend down. But like, Once again, I get heavy-handed sometimes. Sometimes I overdo it. So watch your placement when you're putting on makeup. That will save you a lot of time. So yeah, I just want this to be a lesson to anybody. Listen, don't give up. Just keep blending until you get the right thing. Players mess up too. And I also get people asking me this a lot on TikTok, like, why do you use so much concealer? Is it for coverage? Honestly, y'all, half the time I just be trying to blend because I done mess something up, and that's why I be using so much concealer. I promise you, like, I don't be trying to use that much concealer, even though it ends up looking really good and really full coverage. Half the time I done mess something up, and that's why I'm using so much concealer. Don't think I'm doing it on purpose. Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I want to be heavy-handed with the makeup. I just messed something up, okay? And when you mess up, you just use more products to clean it up. So that's what I be doing half the time. I'm not intentionally trying to use a lot of concealer. I also like to go back in with my foundation brush anytime when I feel like something is not blended well. I don't add any more product, just go back in with the brush just to reinforce, as well as I go back in with my blush brush to reinforce the blush. Once I was satisfied with my blend, I went in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Loose Setting Powder. This powder is so good for this to be a drugstore powder, and this was my first time using it. I was very pleased. It's only $6, y'all. Like, can you believe it's $6? When y'all see the coverage that this loose setting powder had, y'all are going to be stunned. I was just making sure I got all my creases before I put the powder on. That's what I'm doing here, because they're probably like, girl, put the powder on. I'm trying to see. I'm just making sure the creases are uncreased before I set, because once you set, that's it. So I'm blowing my little powder puff, making sure I don't got too much product on it, which I still did, because that powder is actually pretty thick. That's the only thing I think I didn't like. It was really thick, but I also just love how, like, it really looks like a photo finish, y'all. Like, it looked like it was a filter on my face. Like, no lie. This had me rethinking if I really love Dermablend for real, because I literally looked like I had a filter on. Like, it was so good. The only thing I will say is, like, I don't know. I feel like you can't bake with this. Like, especially if you got translucent like I did. They also have a banana shade, which is better for darker skin tones. But you know, I like a bright under eye, so I got the translucent shade. But I feel like the banana shade is good to bake with for anybody that likes to bake. But I definitely don't think I should have baked with this product. I did bake a little bit, but I probably shouldn't have. I should have just, like, pushed it into the skin and left it alone, because this product was so hard to brush off when it was time for me to do so. And also, if you're a beginner doing your makeup, I just personally would not suggest baking at all. Like, I just would not suggest it, just because with baking, you have to also know how to get that product to go away. And if you are a beginner, that's going to be such a hard process, especially if you're not used to, like, having to wipe that off, because you're probably going to end up having too bright of an under eye or having flashback because you don't know how to wipe the product off. So I would just suggest not baking. So here is where I messed up. I probably shouldn't have even put this much product on, but I do like the chisel underneath my cheeks, and that's what I was doing here. I was just rubbing the product across my cheeks so that they're chiseled when I go in with my bronzer. But baking was not really a good idea with this product, because it was so hard for me to get it off when it was time for me to brush the excess product off. So now we're about to get into our brows. I'm brushing them up because I'm about to apply the Kiss Strip Eyelash Adhesive in clear, and make sure that it's clear. I use that to make my eyebrows stay in place throughout the whole day or night or wherever I'm going, and make sure that my eyebrow hairs don't get out of place and that my eyebrows don't come off. So I put on as much as I feel like putting on. I really don't have no rhyme or reason to that. And I just brushed them into place. And I zoomed in here so y'all can see how I'm brushing them. I brushed all the hairs up first, and then I'm going to flatten them out, like with the spoolie as well as with my finger, to make sure all the hairs are down and that they're manageable. I've said this before, but I don't get my eyebrows done because I just don't like to play with my brows. I have pretty nice brows, and I don't want anybody messing them up. So I don't get my brows done, so I just have to make sure that all the hairs are being tamed, and that's how I tame my hairs before I do my eyebrows. And Kiss is like almost $3. That's it. Like, you could get some Kiss clear lash glue. You don't gotta get no brow lift, no wax, none of that. Get you some glue and move along. So make sure that when you're brushing your eyebrows, that's where you want those hairs to be, because after you do this step, you're not going to be able to like go back and fix how your hair is sitting for real, because now your eyebrows are like stuck in that place. So after I'm okay with the shape, I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. And this goes for about $10, and you can find it for $8 on Amazon, which I think is a good price for a good eyebrow pencil. I buy these all the time. I get this in the color dark brunette, and I kind of use this just to define the shape before I fill in my brows, because I fill in my brows with another product. So once I'm okay with the shape of my eyebrows, I go in with the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. I get that in the color Espresso, and I use this just to fill in sparsely my brow hairs. This retails for about $13, and I think this is my favorite product that I use on my brows. It gives you that nice sparse like hair-like eyebrow that almost looks like it's just your brows and you just concealed, when really like you really put in the work to fill in your brows. I love that look, that you can still see the hairs, and I love that it's waterproof too, because my eyebrows are not sliding off when I'm out. And also the L'Oreal pencil is waterproof, so this gives you a nice brow for the rest of the night. So I believe here's when I realized that I did not mean to bake. I was not supposed to bake the bottom of my, cheek where I like carved out my cheeks. And I realized I had left it on too long, because I'm like, y'all, this looks like it's not moving. And as you can see, like, I'm really putting my wrist work in there trying to get this product off. So I end up going in with the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation in a powder. I know it's a mouthful, but it's basically L'Oreal's foundation powder. I use this all the time. I use the shade Copper as my skin tone color. This is like my all over face powder. So I use a translucent powder under my eyes. Then I use an all over face powder for the rest of my face. And that's my all over face powder. I'm just trying to put that at the bottom to tone down the fact that like there was flashback. Like that translucent powder, even though like I said, it's really good and made me look like I had a filter on, you cannot bake with that stuff. So be very careful when using that. Also, forgot to mention that the powder retails for about $13, and you could find this at any drugstore. Next, I went in with the bronzer. This was also L'Oreal Soft Matte Bronzer. I got 3 different shades because I just didn't know which shade I wanted to use. So, you're going to see me kind of go through using each shade. I got Deep Tan, which is the shade I'm using now. This is like the middle shade that I got. So, I got like a lighter brown. I got a darker brown, and then a darker brown. So yeah, this is the first shade I used, which was Deep Tan, which was the middle shade. Then you're gonna see me go in with the darkest shade, which it was in dark. I go in on my cheeks with that, and for my nose I was using medium, because medium was the lightest bronzer that I got. And this also retails for $13. Here is when I used the darkest shade of the bronzer, which was dark, and I kind of thought it was too dark, so I stopped. Then I went to blush. So I started with Milani Baked Blush Berry Amore, and I also used the L'Oreal blush powder. You're going to see me use both of these products for my blush. And this is an optional step. You don't have to use all 3 of these. I just did it because I'm extra and I like the mixed blushes. So first I started with the L'Oreal Fresh Wear blush. I used the shade Confident Pink first, and then I went in with Fearless Coral. That product is about $13 as well. And you see me here, I believe this is where I used the coral, and I'm just kind of lightly patting it because I didn't know how the coverage was going to be. And I was very impressed with the coverage of the blush. It's not too pigmented. It looks just right, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like sometimes other blushes I use, they're too pigmented. So I really like that it was subtle. Then I went in with my Berry Amore Baked Blush by Milani. This goes anywhere from $8 to $10. I love this stuff. I think it adds a glow because there are hints of gold in this blush. So it gives you like a glow to your cheeks, and it also complements well with whatever highlighter you use. I use this in my regular routine and I love the way it looks. So next I'm going to clean my brows. I mixed deep olive and tan sand to get the perfect shade underneath my brows. And I'm just going to use like a really flat brush. If you notice, if you're trying to clean under your brows, you want to use something that's really flat. And I like to sometimes like pinch the brush just to make sure I get a real straight line when I'm doing my underbrows, because I just need that to be very perfect. So I'm going to take my time and just carve out my brows. And I only conceal underneath my brows now that I do brows last. So that's what you're going to see me doing here. And I've already said this in my beginners tutorial. If you are new to doing your makeup, I suggest doing your brows first, because if you're not a pro at doing your brows, you will have that brow product everywhere on your face, and it's just going to be a disaster to try to clean up after you've already set your face. So if you are new to doing your makeup, please do your brows first. It took me years before I could do brows last, and now I'm a brows last type of girl, but that comes with practice. So if you're new here, if you're just starting off doing your makeup, follow the same steps I'm doing, but do them first. Or just go watch my beginner's tutorial and just use these products in place of the products I used in my beginner's tutorial so that you can follow along, because I don't think you're ready for brows last if you're just starting your makeup. Just a disclaimer. So after I've carved out my brows, I go in with that Real Techniques concealer brush, and I just blend out the rest of that concealer to make sure you don't see any lines of demarcation. And this is going to give us a nice quote unquote eyeshadow base, even though I don't really do eyeshadow. I'm not a big eye makeup girl, because first of all, I wear glasses. Second of all, I wear lashes. I don't like too much product on my eyelids. So we're going to go in with our bronzer next for eyeshadow. So next we're going to go into our eyeshadow look, quote unquote, and snatch our nose. So I started off with the medium, which was the lightest shade of the bronzers that I bought. As you can see, I'm kind of going down my nose, but also bringing it into my brows just to emphasize that snatched look. That's what really brings a nose contour together. And this kind of also starts my transition shade for my eyeshadow look. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm bringing it down my nose just like I said to enforce the snatch. I like to use a lighter shade because I don't like my nose contour very harsh. And then you're going to see me go in with the darker shades once I go on the lid. And luckily, this is like a one brush eyeshadow look, because I start off with the same brush and end off with the same brush. So I start with my lighter shade as the transition shade. Then you're going to see me use darker shades as I go. That was the deep tan. I'm using that to kind of like cover the rest of the lid. And then you're going to see me going with the darkest shade last to go ahead and provide more depth to the look, just to make my eyes give that bronzy effect. I really love a bronzy eyeshadow look. So I use one brush this whole time and kind of define as I go. So if I feel like I need a darker shade, I put it where I need it to go, and I just keep on blending. And as you can see, this is when I went in with the dark, and I put that like in the middle of my lid just to give me even more depth than I already had from the other shades. So I kind of build the products up with each other. And this eye makeup routine is like so easy because it's just a nice sultry brown that you could pretty much wear with anything. It goes with any outfit. You don't got to think too hard. And then I go in with that same brown underneath my eyes because I think it defines the eyeliner. Next, I go in with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. This is about $6. I have been using this since I started doing makeup because I just feel like it makes you look like a doll. It brings attention to your eyes. It almost makes you look like you're glowing in the dark. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's so pretty and it applies so easily. They did their thing and it stays all night. Then I go with that brown underneath once again just to redefine my eyeliner and make it pop some more. So if you know, you know, this is my trick for making my bright under eye stand out. First, I wipe off the powder that was there because I had that translucent powder on the whole time while I was doing my eye makeup and everything else. So I wipe it off first. And then I'm going to go in with Radiant Honey, which is like the lighter It's a light like yellow undertone shade that I like to use to make my bright under eye pop. I just think it gets rid of the white cast in my opinion and makes it look more cohesive to my skin. And it also makes your under eye look so seamless. Like you don't see any creases under my eye. It's so amazing. I really love this stuff. And if you're new here, I guess I have to give this disclaimer. You do not have flashback when using this product. That's the whole point of using this product, so you don't have flashback. I know it looks really ashy here, but once I spray my face, it's not going to look ashy anymore. So don't beware. And then I go in with my brushes. I don't add any extra powders or anything. I just go in and just define certain areas. I like to define my nose with the same brush I used before. I like to define my contour. I put more blush because next I'm going to spray. So you want to make sure everything is in place before you spray again. So this is when I realized I was taking it. Like the face is seamless. It's giving Barbie doll. It's giving Bratz doll. I literally look like a whole doll. Like this routine really has me rethinking my regular routine because it looks so good. So now we're going to spray once again with the Milani Make It Last spray, and I am going to drench my face. I always say drench your face because you want it to last all night. This also makes sure that your makeup all sets in and that it blends together as one. So make sure you just spray as much as you can. Wet your face up. I don't care if you think it's too much. Keep going. Enough is never enough with setting spray. I also like to go in with that fluffy foundation brush that still has the product on it, just to make sure all the lines are literally blended into my face. And then I'm going to go in with my highlighter. So the highlighter I chose was the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter in the shade Molten Topaz. I believe that this may not be in the store anymore, but I did buy this recently off of Amazon for $10, and I really love this shade. I think it's perfect for brown tones. Also notice that I spray before I apply a highlighter because that enhances the shine of the highlight. So just pro tip, spray before you apply highlighter. And then I went in with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder, which is in the shade Golden Flower Crown. That's a mouthful. Golden Flower Crown. I really liked this shade as well. I think that it made the Molten Topaz pop even more, and it was more noticeable. And guess how much this highlighter is? It's only $5, y'all. So if you don't have to pay $10, I would say go get that Wet n Wild and pay them little $5 shop because it did what it needed to do. And if you're not new here, you know I take a little bit on my middle finger and put it on my nose to create the perfect little button nose. Yeah, that's like my favorite step. That's when I know like I'm done with my makeup. And you can see I'm going to go in and like pat the highlighter in just because I felt like it was too bright. Bright highlighter is not the wave anymore. We're not doing excessive highlighter. That was in 2016. Now we're here for the subtle look. So yeah, I kind of tried to pat it in. And of course I applied more blush because like who would I be if I didn't apply more blush? And you could never blend too much, honey. I was still going in and trying to blend underneath there because I was like, I do not want y'all to see this chiseled. It was too chiseled for me, so I was still trying to go in and blend. Now we're gonna do the lip combo. Went in with the LA Girl Perfect Precision eyeliner. Yes, I said eyeliner. Okay, it's brown. It's in the shade brown. I put it on my lips because I like it. Don't question me. That's the one that I found in the store. Thought it was lip liner. It wasn't, but that's what I like to use on my lips. This retails for $3, y'all. $3. And I am not big on overlining my lips. I just try to line my lips and call it a day. I don't want them to look too drastic. Then I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution Pout Bomb Plumping Gloss. Say that 3 times fast. I dare you. Okay, this is in the shade Candy. I got this for $3, and this is my favorite lip product. Then I went in with the NYX Butter Gloss non-sticky lip gloss. I got the shade Eclair. This is like a pinky shade. I wanted to pink out the nude because I felt like the nude was too nude, and I like pink nudes. Then I went in with the Revlon Super Lustrous The Gloss in the shade Sky Pink. I do want to say that using all these glosses is optional. You don't have to use all of those. The NYX is about $6 and the Revlon is about $10. Then I sprayed just to get everything, you know, its final little spray so that everything is set in place. And then I was taking it. Yeah. She's taking it. She's taking it. She's taking it. She's taking it. All right, y'all, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this drugstore makeup routine. I made it for the people that probably can't afford like high-end products. Everybody cannot buy a $30 concealer, a $30 setting powder. Everybody cannot buy a $40 setting spray, okay? It's just not in everybody's budget. And I'm here for the girls who are trying to be a baddie on a budget. If that's you, this video was for you. So I hope you liked it. Please stay tuned for more videos. It's Shanorri, baby. And we'll be back with another video soon. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And get us to 2K. Come on. What you waiting for? You see my face? I deserve 2,000 subscribers. Like, I deserve 3 million. Do you see this? Come on now, stop playing with me.